Loki is the one to hold the center bomb side. One man already in vents, and the ramp push coming in.
So guys, we are aware the sound's a little off at the moment. We'll be fixing that up for you, don't worry. But for now, you get a nice relaxed broadcast, you know, just laid back. Kick back, put the music on, put a frag movie on in the background. You won't know the difference. But Refresh will, because he is under severe pressure. Scrutiny aplenty, he does fall in the end. And so far, Singularity completely wrapping up this round. Gets the nice team ace, you know. Everyone gets a kill.
Yeah. And this is one of the notes that I wrote down from last night, is that Singularity, in order to get something done in this map, they need to be able to have structured CT sides against good teams, because we saw them on the T side against SK where they can control the pace. They did well. The second they got on the CT side and it was SK trying to control everything, they just fell apart. And this is what they need to do well against Mousesports, who are a very, very good team. They need to be able to withstand and hold back the incoming aggression. And in the pistol round, so far it's worked out. But here comes the pistol force.
Yeah, and we saw how aggressive Mousesports were during their pistols and forcing into this one quite a plenty even yesterday. And that nade truly finding connection towards Dennis, down to just merely 10 HP. As they do work their way towards Secret, those steps will be heard. Even if you don't hear them, they certainly will be. Oscar does go for a bit of a gambit, doesn't really work out. They're in Insta now in a nice position to play off the back of these stairs. And the best part is the information he's gathered. He's actually not seen anyone push down towards lower, but Mousesports have good secret control. So it kind of forces rotations. If they can punish this, that's where things get interesting.
And Mousesports are so stuck right now. There are two CTs watching both angles downstairs and one holding upstairs as well, like in the garage. So there's nothing they can do right now. And they have pistols and Dennis is on 10 HP. It's pretty much the worst scenario of all time. And yeah, Singularity can just hold back here, just hold the angles. They even decide to go even further back to have the triple man stack on side. So this is pretty much impossible for Mousesports. They need a miracle.
Yeah, and well, we'll see if they can find anything. Maybe a prayer would do. Not happening at the moment. The SMGs are just tearing apart. And yeah, LOL to fall as well. And that'll be a very clean round coming out for Singularity there. And actually quite a well-needed clean round, considering you want to build out the money as nice as possible, especially on Nuke. We don't talk about utility that much, you know, map-specific. But this is one of the maps you need mollies, especially on the CT side, to deny any aggression towards upper, keep the players under control. You can really just hinder any early hits, and Mousesports love that sort of thing. They'll happily go for very aggressive plays. They're kind of known for it. You saw it yesterday coming out. They do have that very explosive style on occasion if they fall back to it. This could just be an upper hit, just trying to play for a plant, maybe get a vent dive in. Yeah. At most, you're kind of hoping for a bomb plant.
Yeah, this is, like, if they get a bomb plant, then it's mission accomplished this round, to be honest. And here we go. The push is coming in.
Yeah, and I don't think much is going to come from this. Already looking there. That's nice. They do actually manage to get down Secret, kind of sending them off to the death. Chris J just kind of swipes past, and a nice little follow-up as well. And he might just get a plant.
This is a really good round.
Stop? No, that is so well played. Any more doesn't matter. But he got a bomb plant, 2 kills. Lovely work from Chris J.
Yeah, I don't even... Maybe they'll have to... Yeah, they'll probably have time to switch out the MP9 out for the UMP45. Yep. But if they didn't have time for that as well, that would be another weapon technically lost. And they do manage to get that off-screen here. So that's really, really nice for Mousesports. Getting those 2 kills, get those 2 weapons tonight, get the bomb down now. They can buy up. You still see Rixo staying on the scout here. And this is an interesting one. I was actually going to talk a bit about this because Rixo... Like, imagine going to your first LAN tournament. Who are you going to meet as an AWPer? First, Fallen. Secondly, Oscar. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah, it's, you know, trial by fire here as well. And if you're going to have a scout on this map, I always look at Chris J to be the one to have it as well. That guy can scout like a champion, but Oscar finds the first pick so beautifully as well. Very well kind of formed and framed to be allowed to get that. Insta goes down and Refresh not too far to follow. And Rops has already kicked off. That's what you want to be seeing. There was aggression from the CTs, trying to push up, maybe just trying to catch the Ts off guard. If they got this round in the bag, that'd be perfect. But Singularity were on that kind of... I guess that bonus round, right? A couple of UMPs still in play. They had the scout. It wasn't like a huge investment, but of course you don't want to go down without making a single scratch. So let's see if Rixo can do anything. Deagle to hand, making the play, but it's very unlikely. Nice connection towards LOL, but that's all you're going to get. So costing them 1 rifle in that, but that's not particularly great for Singularity. You wanted more. They've still got money to invest here. They're still fine. But you kind of don't want that for a start into the gun rounds.
Yeah, I'm actually, despite it looking quite shaky here, I'm actually liking the idea of the fact that you have this bonus round. You know you're on bad weaponry compared to the T's, so you go for the kind of like aggressive like play that they're not going to expect. This time, of course, doesn't work out, but actually I like the idea. So now they're going to have the full buy, the real full buy.
Oscar's got a decent spawn, though, so he might be going for the fast peek towards ramp. He does get the angle first. No one's actually gone down towards the deeper side of ramp. You do see, I think that's console. Yeah, just about messing up the flash there. A bit of a shame, but Oscar's going to slow work this as well. He can happily hold the angles, work his way through. Smoke now does block his vision, but Refresh already found Dennis, and we know Dennis what he can do on the CT side on this map. Talk about aggression. That guy outside, he'll push up towards T-Red every single occasion, and Insta's doing it right now, and I like that. Take back some real estate, get some map control on the CT side, and don't allow the Ts to run rampage here. So for now, Mousesports do have to try and check every corner as well. This has cost them a lot of time.
Yeah, something that we also talked about is the importance of mollies in the map, as you pointed out earlier. There are no mollies right now for the CTs. They spent I think they had 2 to begin with. One of them was spent on the ramp. The ramp has no smokes or molly right now for console, so that would be an area to kind of exploit for Mousesports. And it looks like they're going for that general direction, as Rixo has picked up one outside.
I like this off angle as well from console. This is something I was actually accrediting to Luki earlier, but this is beautiful play. Takes the shot, falls back, doesn't outstay his welcome. Yeah, you lose ramp control, but you stay alive and you buy time. Now they need to be aware of crows as well being the next pressure point, but that's the next factor. There's only 2 alive now for Mousesports, and you shouldn't be losing those situations. Wow. Beautiful play from console. It's very rare you see players looking so calm and collected. Ramp is such a pressure point. Teams love to put pressure on it, fall back. You get so much access to the rest of the map if you want to go do wraps or do anything you want. Lovely position, and welcome back, GameSound.
There we go.
Thank you for chilling with us, guys, so far. We knew what was going on. We don't want to get too excited and just shout at you over silence, but yeah, it's always good to have the game sound back. But yeah, nicely done from the CTs. Looking very calm, good positioning, not getting outdone just yet.
No, definitely not. And actually, you pointed it out, like, console was so ready for that. He was so calm, despite having no utility to block off. But right now, something's blocking off, and it's a double kill coming in from Mousesports. Rixo answers back. Right now, access to Secret for the teeth. Rixo is really pressured.
Yeah, he saw one actually pushing out from Garage towards him, so he knows what's happening, but they're already hitting towards upper, so this is a great position, and there's just too many angles for him to cover. Dennis really pushing for this, and as soon as Insta went for that fight, you know Dennis is going, I normally do this, I know what to do about it, so he just gets the frag, no problem. Now, console played ramp last round, they might be able to work that one out, but for now, he's just looking to save this. There's very unlikely any way you're getting back into this. They can also recover an AWP if required. Robs can get out there and pick that one up rather than UMP if he fancies it. Just with the upgrade, drop it out to Oscar. But for Mousesports, a lovely switch up of pace as well. I've got to say, really, really well done to them.
But yeah, one thing that I'm wondering is like the economy coming in from Singularity, because right now we have been trading back and forth, and we can see that the money is going to be okay for them for now. But this is the problem. This is what we talked about yesterday as well in one of the games. If you're trading back and forth, round for round, and you're on the CT side, it gets very, very hard to build that economy and get that going every single time. And you get into a situation where money and economy is actually losing your rounds instead of just your individual or team level. And this is not becoming a problem yet. But if it continues like this, it will be a problem for Singularity.
But it also means that if Mousesports are doing these aggressive plays and they try and switch up maybe towards upper, it's going to be very hard for Singularity to deny them this, because they won't have full mollies going forward, beyond this round. They currently have 3-4 on deck. That's fine. That's more than enough. But as soon as that money starts to deplete, you get into a really tricky situation, and it opens up the possibility of, vent dives, pressure towards upper, quick peaks coming out. Oscar gets more freedom. Now, it looks like Mousesports are going to go for a quicker play, at least through Squeaky. Maybe not expecting the mollies to still be there. Christian gets absolutely roasted. Smoke comes in a little too late, but maybe misreading the economy on that one, expecting them to be a little, I guess, weaker than they were. Going for that quick hit didn't look good in the end, and Rixo as well making it even worse for Mousesports. Down to 3 now. They desperately need an avenue back into this round.
Let's see here. If Robs can be the one to open, console is on the other side of the smoke here. And they're just waiting it out. That is just, well, 5 seconds off, then that would be a headshot, straight kill through the smoke, but puts down the molly and then rotates back towards the ramp. I really like this play from console. He's holding that smoke as long as he can, then putting in the molly and then rotating back, making sure that he has pressured that part of the map for so long.
Is he going to the off angle again that he had before? I'm kind of curious where he's going to go on this. It's even deeper as well. That's really nice change up. Even if they check that initial spot that he was at previously,
yes. Now
he's slightly deeper, which you wouldn't normally commit to. Again, just gets outdone by almost the barrier soaking up some of those shots. It's something you have to deal with if you're holding that position, but still, a bit unfortunate, but Rops is there. Now Refresh with a quick rotate down towards vents. Insta doesn't want to overcommit to this just yet. They are still waiting, but the bomb's going to be going down. Good positions as well. Does get the tag. Beautiful work from Robs there. Really hyper aware of every possible threat.
Yeah, he's really, really good. His game sense is on point right now, but Luki comes in, grabs that M4, can do the reload, and now it's 3v2. Retake coming in for the CTs. They do have a kit and a smoke for the bomb. One Molotov for the bomb as well on Lowell, so that's probably going to be the thing to save the round for Mousesports.
They're both watching the same angle as well. I think that was just cool because Lowell just had to instantly switch up his position. He's playing over by Secret. This is a really weird spot. Oscar's got his back, but there it is. Finally he breaks out of that one, but so awkward playing between those doors. He did have that initial kind of like hole in the door that he was trying to play through to spot if they're playing out decon, but gets a little hairy when there's 2 players pushing out on site. Oscar's watching the same angle as you. bit awkward, but it was fine. This is Rops's perspective, and yeah, he just had the cleaner shot through those barriers. This is him towards Decon as well. But yeah, he's a very aware player. He's so aware of even just the unorthodox things that you really like to see. This guy is so talented at that. And finally, the money breaks for Singularity.
Yeah.
They had a good bank for a little while. They definitely depended on that, but Dennis hyper aware that this is happening. Straight on the Mac 10, straight going run around towards Secret. He's just going to try and find what he can.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about like earlier. If you get on the CT side, especially on Nuke, and you're only on pistols, there's so much stuff that's going to make it hard for you to win a round. Of course, the quick push in with the Mac 10 is a big difference. Also, the long range, if you have Oscar on the AK, AWP, you have the AKs as well. All the utility you don't have on that CT side to block things off. It's pretty much impossible to get anything done unless you do like an aggressive push and get 1 or 2 kills and pick up the weapons. So 4-3 is probably going to be 4-4 in a little while here, but let's see here. Dennis is, of course, looking to mob up some frags. And the Singularity guys only on pistols.
Any guns away is good, or maybe just trying not to feed the SMGs is what you're hoping for. Just no more money for them, just keep it away. Console as well here, just playing by the vent, just hoping someone walks past. B250s can do so much damage. Not this time though. Lol, they're going to close out and Mousesports to keep 5 alive. Good money coming in towards their bank as well, solidifying their economy. It was on a bit of, not necessarily a knife edge, you had Lol still sitting on like 9k at the end of that round. Oscar already bought up, but you want to build that bank, so if anything does go wrong, you can fall back for a couple of rounds. You start feeling a little better about yourself. But yeah, the thing with Mousesports as well is, I wouldn't say their T side is the bit that impresses me. I always enjoyed their CT side on this map, and it's mostly because of Dennis. Especially after, you know, Nico stepped back from the roster, he really came into his own, and this map really shows it. So again, this is something I'm going to be looking forward to. Only 1 molly. This could signify a little bit more aggression if Mousesports are up on reading the economy, and it has. Straight away, heading straight down towards Secret. 1 player just trailblazing through. Insta found a pick still out of place, and he will pluck Oscar out of there. Nicely done. Christian will pick up the AWP and continue the route, but still, this is a little awkward for Mousesports. Maybe it felt a little bit better because you already had 1 player down Secret. You felt that you could make it, but no.
Yeah, that last smoke actually looked like it was a bit rushed because it landed 2 or 3 seconds like later than it should have. And it's not perfect if someone is up on the ledge on top of that outer kitty. Then it's going to be really hard if your smokes are going to be the last 5% off, because that is, as Fallen said against Singularity yesterday, they're going to punish every single mistake you make. They're going to punish it. And this is what they're doing right now. But luckily for Mousesports, it is a 4v4 and only 1 smoke.
Next benefit for me as well is even when Oscar goes down, you got Christian to fall back on as an AWP. Lovely addition. Robs! Beautiful shot towards Refresh. The old vent just gets smothered in blood. And now Insta has to swing into action. Playing out Decon here, going to swing out and it gets dinked up. Maybe a little overzealous to try and get involved and make a difference for his team there. You may see some of the inexperience coming through. Lukey gets called out as well. Robs being very uncomfortable for Singularity, making it very hard to rotate down towards lower, and now they can come back up and do what they want. Chris J holding that push down towards ramp. Lovely positioning, good recovery. Even after losing out on Oscar so early on, they make up the difference. They get the map control back, and I think that's the position I like seeing Robs in, is one of those active lurkers, right? They're not even going towards upper just yet. It's just him being a pain, controlling the rotate, denying them to play back down there. Really nicely done.
And he's making his own space here. He's not really relying on someone else to open up for him. He's just going in on his own and knowing, okay, it's just me. I have to watch every single angle myself, but I also have the freedom to do what I want. And that's, I think, is the perfect role for him.
And I'm appreciating this from Mouse, the quick hit. Refresh, Batman's in from the top. I did find Lol, but I prefer these quick hits to this. You don't want to let yourselves get picked apart by deagles like this. Don't you do this. There we go. Insta goes down. It always gets a little scary when you see like 1 deagle connect, and then, you know, the Dupree moment on overpass kicks into my brain. I'm like, oh no, not like this. Bricks though can't do much about it, but still getting 3 kills.
Yeah,
not bad. Mousesports though, it's just a round on the board that they want.
Yeah, and they're up 6 rounds now on the T side.
Yeah,
of course, back in the day, 6 rounds on the T side, you would pretty much have won the game.
GG, we're fine.
But this isn't 2013 anymore, so they're probably looking to get a few more rounds before they're absolutely happy with their result here.
Look, most people these days know what Danish teams can do on Nuke. I don't know what it is, I don't know where it's happened, but they can all play it and play it so well. So again, it doesn't even matter if they're tier 1 teams or not. Most of them can play a very solid game of Nuke. I like this from Refresh though. He's got support there going for the aggression outer as well from T-Red, so this could be an interesting one. Oh, Chris J though, straight through, doesn't care, but he sees the shoulder up above. Great calls, great communication. Dennis even still checking for the aggression outside. Perfect play, and Robs denies any aggression coming out from ramp, and there it is. That's a brilliant round from Mouse. That puts a smile on Chris J's face.
That was actually beautiful. But also one thing that I'm noting is that if Singularity, if they don't get that first opening peak or like first kill in the round, they kind of fall apart very easily. So if one like chink of their armor gets in or one like line is broken, then the rest of the team just falls apart. And that's a very, very bad sign for a team, because if you can't just pick it up and go back into the round and win that, if you're like 2v3 or 2v4, something like that, then it's going to be really hard to go far in a tournament, because you're going to have those situations. Yep. And if you can't capitalize on that or come back into that against Mousesports, you're not going to have a good time in this tournament, because there's so many good teams here.
Oh, 100%. And this is the thing. We just want to see a competitive match out from Singularity. No one really expects them to win it. We could say that Nuke was one of the maps. We could see a possibility of it happening, but they need more rounds than this. They had a decent start, so they need to lock it down. It was the gun rounds where it really started to get a little bit hairy here, and they have called a timeout. At least they're trying to address the issues. Maybe have a chat. They tried aggression towards Outer. It's not really worked. You've had people undoing it. Chris J that round and Dennis, of course, both really getting in their faces. They need to find an answer to this soonish.
Yeah, this is one thing that I'd like to point out as well. Something that I think Singularity could benefit a lot from, having an actual coach. The guy behind them right now is not a coach. That's actually the organization owner. They were trying to get a coach, but nothing worked out in the end. And this is something that I think would be absolutely perfect for them here, because Insta, he knows how the team works, but it's very hard to place yourself outside of that team perspective and say, okay, this and this is not working. Yep. If they have a coach, he can say, okay, you need to fix these 4 mistakes, and then Insta can put that information into something that the team can understand. Right now, it's just Insta sitting trying to figure out what's going on and what they can fix, and I think that is one of the things they need in order to get to that next step. They need an actual coach.
100%. It's so hard to see the bigger picture when you're so focused on your game plan yourself as well. Yeah, there's not even a headset on the guy. He's not a coach. There we go. But no, yeah, you're absolutely right. Sometimes you're a little too close to it and you get frustrated yourself. You feel out the game. There's benefits and negatives to both, of course. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people who still say, maybe coaching, you don't get the feel of the game, but then sometimes you also need someone who can see everything. They can see behind every monitor. When the timeout comes in, all right, I've just had a quick look over what's happening. Just change this up. You'll be fine. Just deal with this. Small changes can make a very big difference. But Singularity have limited amounts of time to make this happen in. It's already 4-7. They need to recover soonish, and they've got the dualies out, so I already support console thoroughly.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're not going for the force buy here. They could have gone for the force buy. They're going for the pistols. This is something that I advocate a lot.
Risk, he's got a nice skin on the dualies as well, so don't laugh. That means he's got this one.
He's on point.
We need to watch his... Can we watch his perspective for a whole round? Thank you. Observer hates me for doing this, because you miss all the action, and then you get the Reddit thread going, how dare you ruin our observing?
Oh, that's
But he's just going anti-flash. We can watch others, because Insta's about to pop off. He did find one. Lol goes, and maybe a little bit sporadic from Mousesports here, a little bit, on your own, a little bit isolated. They were able to find one, but no more to follow. But I like this kind of up-close hold towards Hut there, maybe expecting Rops to be that kind of late pressure point, which he actually is as well. So you're going to hear at least one of these steps up towards Crow, so the dual elites might come through.
Oh, that's the...
No, Dennis, don't ruin it.
Gifting outside control.
Come on.
To Mousesports, and let's see if Console can make this happen.
Do it.
Oh, yes! No, it was Lukey! Lukey stole it away!
How dare you, Lukey! How very dare you! All I wanted was to see the duelists. Now he's got a rifle, so he's not going to use them. That's just heartbreaking. Hopefully he just drops that gun. Don't need it. It's fine. We're actually down to 3 for Mousesports. This damage they've done so far is very good. But I'm kind of surprised they drop off the rifle to Lukey, considering Console did have armor as well. Maybe
he just knows the power of the dualies.
He does. He understands. He's studied them. He's become truly a master of the dual elites. And again, the next challenger arises, and that's going to be Rops. The timing is actually not bad. Oh, he's doing it. That's disgusting. And here we go. 2v2. Bomb is planted. Mousesports should have this under wraps, but Lukey's out on site. They don't have a kit either, so timing is of the essence, and Oscar is holding his nerve. Bomb gets tickled, and Chris J the first to peek, and now it's down to the dual elite master himself, Console. And nothing to be found that time for him. He did already pretty well that round.
Yeah, 3 kills. Nonetheless, it's fine. They have a minimal investment going into it. There's a couple of pistols and then some armor on 2 of the players. And look at that replay.
Don't look at the kill feed.
Just look at the guns. Just look at them go.
Majestic.
Very good sound effect.
Yeah, that was good.
That is why they hired me,
Was that it?
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
You're just going to do like voiceover work?
And then somehow I just started talking about CS instead.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. None of us intended to be here.
So now we do have the full CT setup. They have 4, right now just 3 Molotovs. Lukey already down on 21 HP. This is a big problem for them, because if one of the players has to rotate way far back, that means they're going to give up so much map control. Insta, though, aware of this.
This is the first time after that timeout that they've been able to really have guns and bring them to bear into this matchup. So a very well needed round, and hopefully they've adjusted something that makes them feel that they can get back into this. They're holding off and using their utility quite substantially. Console as well, holding a new angle. Oh, but Robs doesn't care. Slaps him back, backhand to the face, and now that B-side is looking very vulnerable. Robs can power himself in here, try and find a way through, but the door, is that door open there? It is, because you can see them trying to watch for Secret. Insta gives away his spot a little bit here, but Refresh is close by, and he can work off the back of this.
Insta getting the one frag, Chris J goes down, and this is still 4v4. Robs has had a sick game so far. Will he do even more? Insta shuts down Dennis. Now, bomb has been planted.
Robs putting himself in one of those uncomfortable positions, trying to catch anyone from Singularity from playing back into this lull as well, just playing the site, pretty much dedicated to the door watch. Hold that door. Oscar flying towards Ram, gets outdone. Rixo quick on the trigger, and now Robs has to spring to the action. Good trade, but it goes back and forth and favorably towards Singularity, and now Lol has to go big here, and he can't do it. Lukey comes back in, the defuse will come out. They do have a kit as well, so finally they get that gun round on the board.
Yeah, this is probably what they discussed in that timeout, because usually when you take that timeout and you have a pistol round in front of you, you don't really focus on the pistol round, you just go for some gimmick plays, but you focus all your energy on preparation for that buy round that's coming up. And they get this buy round. Hopefully they can take from this and then just spur on and get the rest of the rounds in this half, because if they don't get 7, if they end up on 5 on CT half, that's not good enough.
Yeah, you start to have threats from things like, oh, a good pistol round in the first gun round, and then you might be done. That's the big threat of it all. But anyway, the quick smokes towards outer, and to be fair to Mousesports, they've almost conditioned Singularity to expect pressure out here because of those. They've been consistent on the smokes every single time they're there. Whether or not they push it is up to them, and they have this time, committing at least 1 towards Secret, and maybe more to follow later. Dennis is going on the prowl as well, hunting over by Garage, but yet to find anyone.
Actually, I kind of like the way the Singularity are playing this city side, because the one thing I don't like is them giving up map control, but it is a decision. It is not something they're forced to do.
Yep.
So they're playing Insta on the Secret, and then they're playing another player watching out for aggressive players, and they're just waiting for them to push inside. The problem is that this leaves space for Robs, and this is round and round again. He's coming in, finding holes in his armor, finding frags.
And yeah, nice angle from Lukey there though. Going to find one, push it up in towards the smoke of a little bit of safety, I guess, towards his right side. But Mousesports are right on the door. They're knocking as well, but Lukey doesn't care. He's just not buying what they're selling, and any more to follow is a benefit. It's a bonus, but not to be seen this time. 3v3, make it a 3v2 because Lol's come alive. Already going to find 2 for himself from a great position, and now Insta and Rix in a very tricky position.
So yeah, Insta coming in from the vent. One has heard him dead. That's Robs once again, but now Rixo 1v2. He has to low. Chris stays low. So when or if he kills Lowell, he can pull out the pistol. Has the kit and the smoke as well.
So hard to play back into this though. He's looking for these guys and just praying someone shows. He's got so much utility to play, but no opportunity to utilize it. And right on the site, it's Chris J buying time and holding it down. And there it is. Mousesports continue this streak and look good on this T side.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, they lost kind of the focus and they lost the hold, and then this allows Lowell to come in. First off, Robs comes in from the door when they're focused on other areas. Then they focus on the door where Robs is, and that allows Lowell to come in. So the timing from Mousesports is absolutely perfect. And this is what is tearing Singularity apart, because they're not ready. They haven't played against teams on this level on a consistent basis enough. So they're not ready for this kind of play. And
in this environment as well, things change when you go to the event. It's not just a prac, it gets very, very different. So phenomenal experience for these guys, but Oscar's going to make the most of what Rixo's trying to do an Insta. Oh, they're so aware. Nice composure from Mousesports.
Yeah, really, really good. Now the rest of the teams, they are on UMP45, so they do have a bit of a bigger chance to do some damage here, but still 3v5 against a fully bought up Mousesports and only UMPs on the CT side. I'm probably gonna, if I was a betting man, I would bet for a 10-5 half.
It seems rather likely at this point. That's Console. First real aggression he's tried to pull through on ramp for quite some time. He's been very successful though, and that's the bomb. A nice touch for him, but doesn't expect Robs to be waiting in towards the lobby. Looking now played in towards the vent, and there's another player there, and the trades become effective for Mousesports, and a 10-5 half is good for them. A bit of a shame for Singularity. It looked like, again, they got off to a decent start, a good couple of rounds kind of filling up the board, but once he got into the gun rounds, once the money started to sit with Mousesports, it just seemed to deplete.
Yeah, and it was just a, like textbook simple Counter-Strike coming out from Mousesports. They trade really well. That's, of course, if you could do that already there, you're pretty much halfway. And also, their smoke's constantly outside, getting that map control. So if you're looking at like a textbook of how to play Nuke, take outside map control, trade really well, and then just run simple strats. and then allow your lurker to do stuff like Robs was doing, and that's pretty much how you do it. Of course, there's a lot more to be had about that, but if you don't need any more advanced tactics than that to win rounds, then there's no reason to show it.
No, absolutely, and I think this is one of the maps where you see Robs playing a role that he's good in as well, not just kind of, you know, he stepped into it and he's starting to get used to it. I think that Nuke, you see a lot of it on, and Cobble as well. He's a very good active lurker. You have this discussion on occasion, you know, the more passive lurkers who'll find more, I guess, later opportunities to try and play for that kind of later game impact. But you look at Robs, you look at Happy on when he has those games when he's actually being an active lurker, they can make so much impact on these maps specifically. So again, very impressive. But the thing again, I have to say is that Mousesports' CT side is what I'm always impressed with, and it's Dennis who gets my attention on this. Oscar as well has a good half, Chris J too. Singularity, bring your A game, otherwise you are in trouble. Yeah,
they need to do this. They played well against SK. Let's see if they can do it again against Mousesports, but quick push inside.
Yeah, they are not holding back at all. Here we go. Consoles straight out towards the upper bomb site, and Chris J is there. The USBs come raining in from above. Bomb is planted, though. 3 players stand, desperately trying to defend this one from the 4 CT players about to make their way through. Rixo on the side still, refreshed with him, but not for long. Dennis claims him, and now Rixo needs to get into the action. He can't do it. Dennis as well to close out the round, and the fuse comes out, and Mousesports pick up where they left off.
Yeah, really nice retake timing coming in from Mousesports there. They knew that they had to give up the A bomb side, but if you have confidence and if you have the timing correctly on your retake, then it doesn't really matter. Of course, they're giving up the bomb plant. That's of course bad. But if you know you can do that retake perfectly, then it's not really that big of a threat. And Mousesports, of course, making it work here, buying up. We do see the FAMAS coming in. Very happy that it's not just like 5 UMP 45s. I actually only see 1. I'm a very happy man right now.
Dennis still has a SMG, so
yeah, but that's MP9. That's
oh, you're okay
else.
with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
You support the MP9.
Yeah, I support the MP9, not the UMP 45.
No, and it's good to see that the updates have seemed to make a change. This could be a quick hit here. Limited rounds brought into as well from the CT side in the form of utility. There was no molly quickly down, but there was still a smoke there anyway, so it allowed Singularity to get down towards lower if they were going to do it. And they have. Bomb is planted. And they're actually in a good spot for this in a way. You have a couple of mollies up, a couple of flashes, and the Tech 9s can work. But they need to start getting the kills on the board. It's still a 3v5, and the retake is looking likely.
Here, Rob's coming in with his FAMAS, and 3 Tech 9s away. 4 flashbangs on the terrace. They have to play close range with these guns here. As the CTs are retaking, Rob's coming in firing, taking out refresh. Now Console in a great position, but you always check this door.
Oh no. What is going on? Console keeps looking towards his right. He looks confused as where Insta is. Maybe panic, maybe under threat, and they let it slip. And the defuse will come through, but in the very... Wait, no. It's too late.
Wow.
They just missed out on the kit as well. LOL was on there. You could see the panic on his face, but the wrong player started defusing, I'm pretty sure. That is so uncomfortable.
That is... Wow. If that becomes the error that spurs Singularity to do the comeback now, that is going to haunt them for life. Because that is the round that was 100% won. Apart from the defuse, of course, which they messed up.
Yeah, it literally was. I'm pretty sure just the wrong player went on the bomb instantly, and Lowell was the only one with a kit, so when he eventually got on there, it was already too late. But you know, I would like to say well played to Singularity to get into that situation,
not really.
But it wasn't necessarily their doing. You know what I mean? That was a real mistake from Mousesports to the end there. Yeah. Communication not quite on point. Dennis as well. He get himself down towards those vents and just take their time. Again, this puts the pressure back on towards Singularity, and also Mousesports, their money's starting to dwindle. Yeah,
but we have to say, like, the beginning of the round was actually quite nice from Singularity. Yeah. They messed up at the end, and then Mousesports messed up as well, so I guess that evens it out. But now, this kind of scrappy buy coming in from both teams. Singularity with the slightly better buy, but Chris J in a good position, but gets fragged out by Refresh. And now Dennis has to rotate back and just hold this in a more defensive posture. Weapons being switched around. Insta creeping in with his Galil. Let's see if he can find something to Refresh once again. Double this round, and this opens it up for Insta.
Oh, lovely timing as well. Really playing into that so perfectly. Lol and Dennis, they're reeling on the back of this one. Surrounding all fronts, multiple steps heard, and Lol finds 2. That's so perfect, and now Dennis can surely be played in. Oh, he just got split on the attention. Players suddenly starting to pinch from upper, and now Dennis in the 1v2. Very, very possible. Got himself an AK, has armor, utility, everything he needs. But the T's do have the bomb.
Yeah, he doesn't have a kit though. Oh, he has to at least be aware of the time. All matter in the end. Insta picks up the M4 and fracks that one out. So Singularity trying to come back now. 7 rounds to 11. 2 rounds in a row, and Refresh finally stepping up. This was beautiful though.
Yeah, the shadows are so good. Good for a CT, bad for T. You know what I mean? Like, Shadows give away so much in this, but still, he really, really came alive with that 5-7. It's very nicely done. It made that round seem almost possible again. If Dennis just had maybe timing on his side, something work out for him, could have seen a different result. But it wasn't. Singularity keep control, but they are still trailing 7-11. Mousesports forced onto a smidge of an investment into this round. Oscar with the armor and Deagle. The rest with P250s and just a clean distance.
So what I need to see now is Refresh to step it a bit more. He got 2 kills in that last round, but otherwise he's been looking very, very bad compared to how much like potential and how much like skill I see in him. So I need him to step it up. Insta's actually looking fine. I think he's actually top fragging for the T side right now. I think he has around 13 frags. So he's doing well, but Refresh needs to step it up, needs to fill out A&J's shoes, and he's not doing it right now. There we go. There we go, Refresh. Take that one out.
And to be fair, certain players respond really well to even just getting eco frags. You need that confidence, especially in teams like this where they're not used to the big stage environment or having a crowd in front of you. It means a lot to start getting those frags on the board. Even if they are just eco frags, you build up off it, you start feeling like, all right, this is fine. You start feeling out the game more. It's very, very good for these guys. So certain players need it more than others, but we'll see if that actually helps Refresh a little bit down the line.
I think it's also a fact that, especially for young players, like if you have that mentality, like general, you don't have as much life experience, so it's very hard for you to like relax and accept things as they are. So you just need to just go straight in there, get the frags, get everything rolling, get momentum. And Refresh is very young. He's one of these on a long list of young talents from Denmark, and he's trying to get his big stage debut here.
Well, it's time to start working for it, and this is what I was looking for, Dennis and the outer aggression. It's something you can depend on, but whether or not you can do anything about it is the next factor. He's got support in 2 factors. He also has Chris J and Oscar, both in positions where they can help out eventually, but that's not really where we're going to see Singularity going towards. He actually gets outdone by Insta as well, but the hit towards upper has begun, and now it's looking good. Oscar did find Insta, but you can see Refresh instantly hunting out these frags, but again losing out here. Oscar is looking on point, the bomb goes down, and now looking in console, gonna have to play out of a corner here.
See a 2v3 bot. Bomb is down still, Molotov saving that for the bomb for later on. Look, he needs to get into this position in hot right now, and he does. Now it's all up to console. If he can hold this side, he does get 1, so 1v2 now. Molotov still available.
We needed that first shot to be clean. He's down to just the pistol, and that's all you need. Lukey gonna find Chris J, and that is a big round. That's the confidence builder. That's the one they needed here. 9-11 now. Money is good for the T's. They can reinvest perfectly. And Mousesports, they're down to under 3K at this point. A couple of them can buy a couple of pistols, maybe a bit of armor, but there's not much to be seen in the way of real weaponry.
It really shows that Singularity actually looked at a lot of demos and studied Mousesports, because, as you said, this is something that Dennis does a lot. He's really good at holding the outside. And they had one guy on that job. One guy focused on Dennis and his aggressive outside push. And that's it. That's all you need to counter that. And then you do an inside push at the same time, and you know the timings, then you can actually win rounds against a team that should be potentially individually better than you. And this is working out right now. Forcing Mousesports on the pistol round. Of course, some armor behind it and everything. They still have a chance. But this could very much look like Singularity coming in within 1 round reach of actually tying this one up.
And this is what we wanted to see, that competitive match between these guys. They showed so much potential against SK. And why not show it against Mouse? It's a good map for you. It's been a very up and down map for Mousesports in the past. So again, this could be a very good match here. So far, Singularity. Caution of aggression coming through. They know it's going to be one of those pistol rounds where you don't know what Mousesports are up to. Got to be a little cautious on it. So they're taking their time.
Close range, CZ 75, close range P250, close range 5.7, very dangerous. It's smoked out right now. And just holding the smokes.
Ooh. This is a dirty angle.
Yep.
I'm a little worried. This could be filthy. Oscar spotted all 3-4 players, and Chris J is so close by as well. The game has been noted. Dennis and Oscar find the frags, and this could be heartbreak for Singularity. All that information trickling through to Mousesports, and Console trying to keep this together, but it's slipping through his fingers like sand. And now, where is that bomb? Where are these players? He's trying to find anything, but Chris J still hears everything. More steps heard, more positions given away, and Rops is there, and he will not let this one slip. And Console, you've got a 1v4 to handle. 2 rifles now sit with the opponents, and the bomb is in their den. You're not getting this one back.
This has not been a good round for Singularity, let's be real. They should not have lost this, but somehow, some way, the individual qualities of Mousesports just shine through. Of course, a bit of a mistake from Singularity. Just walking in there, straight into the lines then. Control will save his weapon here, go into the next one. And I'm pretty sure they will have enough money to buy around this, so it won't be a full-on eco for them now, but they need to bounce straight back, because mentally, when you mess up in a round like that, you need to bounce straight back and get that confidence back, because if they don't, and Mousesports get on 13, then this map is over.
Yeah, there is reset potential, though. That's the one thing you want to be looking at if you're Singularity as well, that even if you do drop around, you know there's always that one guy who just goes, don't worry, guys, we can just reset them, it's fine. But still, they've got to get it going. They kind of left that one a little late. They let the information trickle through, but Oscar was the pivotal man who spotted it all, but good flashes. And Dennis, is it your time to shine? Smothered in smoke. No! Console this time won't be outdone. He won't be left alone in a dire situation like last round. It's down to a 4v4, and a quick hit towards lower might pay dividends, but we're going to see if Oscar can handle it again. Spots out the players. A quick flash in case of any aggression to follow, but no. It plays in rocks, if anything, and now merely 3 stand for the Danes.
Let's see here. Oscar still doing very well with his AK-47, still down on this bomb site. Chris J on the orb this time around, rotating in slowly to get in from behind, but Oscar's position. If they don't peek him two at the same time, this position is so good.
And you can see why. He can fall back, adjust, find new angles. He's pretty safe from everywhere. And the mobile turret, Oscar, he does it all. 3 for him at the end. Signed, sealed, and delivered. What a way to play it out there. No pressure, and you highlighted it perfectly. If you don't face at the same time, play 2 in towards the side, he's going to be able to isolate every single 1v1 with relative safety. And if you imagine if Luki was a second quicker, catch him mid-jump, catch him as he's shooting toward the opponent, try and trade into it. But no, you give him freedom, he's going to run away with that.
And that's the timing and communication problems showing for Singularity, because on a top tier team, that communication will be on point. So everyone knows you have to check these 3 angles, and then on 45, you have to push in. So we all face them at the same time after we checked our angles. This time around, one misses the single angle, has to go back and check that, then he's messed up 1 second, and that messes up the whole timing of the push, and then that push is just done, because, as I said, that position is so good if they just push in 1-on-1. And Oscar's aim, of course, is on point, so he's not going to let that go.
Yeah, it's rare you see Oscar having bad games. We actually saw him having a quiet game yesterday, and maybe he's feeling like he wants to make up for that today, because he's certainly putting up some numbers so far. Always good to see. Maybe just starting to feel out the game in a best of 3 as well. You know, starting to get himself comfortable on the stage. And so far, no real threat on the board for Singularity this round. They did get Chris J low, but not low enough. And this is starting to look out. This could be the closer coming in for Mousesports. They're looking very, very diligent so far. They had a couple of ups and downs. There's a couple of rounds where the reset potential was there, but they never dropped the ball.
No, and that's the thing with Mousesports. And because they have that individual quality, everyone knows that they're talented. They know that they can step up. They have experience. They played many international lands in comparison to Singularity, who are pretty much the opposite of that. So I think Singularity needs to win this one right now, else it's game over. This is all the eggs in one basket, and Luki actually gets the first one on Dennis on the outside aggression. Chris J answers back soon. Oscar, though, in a great position downstairs here, and that tease just falls to his death.
Yeah, head first for Halos at this point, and it is a 3v2. Refresh and Luki looking to try and make anything happen that's positive for them in this situation, but also split up. It's very hard for Refresh to cross over now, so Luki's kind of alone with the bomb here. They do have a smoke. They have 2, to be precise. 2 flashes and a molly. Oscar's still playing towards lower. His positioning as well. He's all over this map. It feels like you can't get away from him. He was playing upper. He's playing lower. He's been everywhere. That makes it uncomfortable for Singularity. Now, what can they do? I guess it's give time for really Refresh to try and work. You know, Luki just holds. All right, you got some time. Refresh, try and find something. Find us an avenue. If you can go towards maybe Heaven, get control, anything. But they're going to start running out of time soon.
Yeah. See here, Refresh does have some time, but in the next 20 seconds, ideally, they want to be moving towards a bomb site. And if you can get a frag on, let's say, Robs, which is almost facing now, or at least in the same general direction as he actually, as I say, that he turns around. But still, if they get 1 frag on one of these guys, potentially one with 100 HP, it's still 2 players on 30 to 40 HP. It's doable.
The problem is there's so much utility still on Mouse as well. That's a big kill. That's low gone. And now, Molly comes in, they push him off of Heaven. This is good. Bomb goes down. Refresh goes into a position to deny any quick kill coming in towards the bomb if they were trying to be a bit cheeky on that. Not going to get it. And now it's Oscar and Robs. That's an angle and a half. Refresh taking active fights. Looking confident and looking like he wants to keep his team in this. Oscar, though, always capable, always aware. One on the site spots him, knows one's in rafters. Oh, he tried for the rafters fight, but Luki not going to let it happen. That's a big play from him, considering the position he was in just a moment ago.
Yeah, I really like this from Refresh. It's actually quite a gamble to go for a position that takes so much time to get to. But in a situation like this, let's be real, they want to take all the gambles they can because it's going to be a hard battle either way. So he goes for that great position, does get that off angle. The CT has no chance in that position, and then they're 2v1, and then they're going to win it, of course. So 10-14, still doable. Of course, Mousesports still got the bank double up setup. Oscar and Chris J now.
And this is the depth you talk about with these teams. The Singularity probably don't have this depth to go to yet. They have a great look at on their T side. I'm starting to really enjoy it. But you think that the amount that Mousesports can go to if something stops working or doesn't feel right, they can fall to other things. So again, we'll see if they can keep going on this one, Singularity. If they keep that money away from Mousesports, if they start stripping away that cash, you could see a game out of this. But it's got to be round by round by this point. Any more that goes towards Mousesports, you've got to feel the game is theirs. Dennis, he's getting anxious. He's getting agitated. Patience is certainly not his virtue. He goes for a look, but doesn't see anything, which might give misinformation almost. We'll see if he can work out where they are. Now he knows something's afoot. Gets tagged up there.
I actually really like them playing this defensive on the T side because they know Dennis is out there, then they know they have to push him at least two guys at the same time. They have one on top of the silo as well.
But he's buying so much time as well. This is very uncomfortable for the T side because they don't really have much map control. Good flash comes in. He doesn't actually get the frag though. Lukey again comes alive. This guy is starting to show us some real potential here. He showed well, especially yesterday on Cobble, even against SK. So it's good to see him be able to follow this one up. Finally an advantage. Mousesports actually have utility here too.
Yeah, look at that. Console is in the vent as well. Now they're going to go downstairs through Secret, so this could be a pretty good B split.
It could be very good. It's Console's position you highlighted. That's the big difference maker here. And it's going to be Oscar to try and deny it before it begins. They're down to, what, 27 seconds. Not much can go wrong here. They're depending on this going very well. And now control room, window gets broken. Oscar doesn't flinch, doesn't move a muscle. Now he has to. Smoke comes in, forces him towards the other doorway, burning alive. He has one shot to make it, has to... Oh! 4 HP remains, and that's all you get. Give him a lull! Right through the smoke, gets the job done. Rixo and Lukey go. And now it's a possible retake. It's looking likely, if anything. The ultra plant positions now for Singularity have to be sublime. They've got to be so on point, and that's good from Refresh. Again, taking active fights, looking to keep Mousesports on their toes, deny these plays back in. A smoke, a flash. He buys his time again, shuts the door, and now waits.
He needs to rotate back now. He can't keep holding his position. They're very aware of his position right now, and they know always one in the door. Goes for the defuse. Ither comes in. Still one on that bomb. Tapping it. Not going directly for it. Refresh through the door. Bangs it. Chris J on the side. Oh, he does get the frag though. But no time.
No time. They've got to back from this, and you want to keep those orbs up. But Refresh did so nicely there. He's going to get killed anyway, but at least costing them one of the orbs as well. Crochet would have maybe made it far enough. Maybe. I don't know. Nuke's kind of hard to tell that one. But still, so well played in the end. Lukey's work early was just so good. And this is LoL's perspective, right through the smoke.
That just makes no sense.
It just is what it is, right? You're sat there in your Refresh, like, your Singularity, just like, really, is this what's happening? Cool, okay.
And here we go. This is the buy here, of course, or not the buy, the saved orb, and then the pistols coming in for Mousesports. A doable round, but once again, when Oscar's on that orb, it doesn't matter if the rest of the team's on pistols. You can't count them out because he's so good with that weapon, and he can just open things up.
Hey, we saw what can happen before when Oscar just got information play.
Yep.
And now he's got great deals of information. Look at him. Right in trap. Hey, no one's here.
This is the problem.
Guys, let's play something else.
Yeah, this is the problem of playing too passive on the T side here in Nuke because you allow map control for the CTs.
But someone's watching. Console's up above watching this. So, okay, Singularity are aware. The Mousesports know where they are. So this becomes, the next level of a mind game is how do we play back into this? Do we just burst down ladder? How do we work this one out?
This is actually because Mousesports are counting on all the pistols to just rush them up. So they're just playing defensive for the first 30 seconds of the round, which is actually not a bad idea. But Mousesports are just not pushing it 100% out. They're just taking the map control and then holding aggressive angles and then just staying there. And I actually like this from both teams. It's just a question of who's going to come out on top when the duels come in.
Oscar, get your gun out. Oscar, please.
Don't go for the knife frags, please.
But then again, you can't make sound, really. If he scopes in, he gives away his spot.
Yeah.
So he's kind of herding them away from certain areas. If he makes a bit of noise, it might kind of force them to play in another way. It's low going walkabouts. And if you're Singularity, you're just wondering where the hell are Mousesports?
Very minimal round so far. No damage done.
They're down to, what, 27 seconds?
Yep.
This is where it gets scary in these rounds. Okay, they spot one towards Raptors, but it plays in the other. Beautiful control from Insta. 2 kills will keep this one going for them, but Robs is going to hear this as well. On the flank, and Oscar going down is the big one. That's the orb now gone. And they're still confused as to where the hell Mousesports are.
Bomb has been planted.
Rob's here. Peculiar situation, peculiar position. Console not aware. Rob surely has to hear that. So now he knows that there's Terry's close by and he's just waiting right now. Just wants to get this exit frag, potentially grab a weapon, and then run out of there.
See if they get any exits in this point. Look at the train of T's just hopping their way away like that. Oh, that's awkward.
Oh, that's a UMP that could have been an AWP.
Oh, console. Just sacrifice yourself. Just give in. Just jump down and give in.
He actually did.
God, yeah.
And then died.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get the AWP back though for Mousesports. I don't think they are, no. But, you know, Singularity 4 alive, bomb plant, round on the board. 12-14. We've got a game of foot finally.
All right.
It feels like it's heating up here.
I said they could get around 12 rounds. But right now, I'm actually feeling they could get potentially more because their T side is what we saw against SK, really, really good. In general, this is what they're really good at, T side, especially on Nuke. If they're only 2 rounds behind, they're on T side Nuke. They have money. Even if they lose this, they still have money to rebuy. This is actually doable.
Yeah.
This is something I thought I would not be saying.
Yeah, and you've got to feel for Mousesports as well. If they don't have a clean round here, their money could be pretty poor actually going forward. Good smokes towards the outside area for Singularity, going to keep Mousesports guessing. They have no idea where they are now. If they've actually played down towards Secret, I don't know if they have a player down there waiting. I think they do already. So hopefully they get the information required. And Oscar, the timing is disastrous for him now, stuck in towards... What? What? How's no one seen him?
Oh, he is
Oh, he
dead.
did die. Oh my god, I was so worried. There was 2 players walking in, no one checked on it, but good trades come out in the end, and Dennis tries to play it out by the vents, but Chris J now surrounded on fronts, and he can't do it either. Singularity break back in, and the days aren't done. These guys are fighting for their lives in this tournament. And finally, the potential they saw in the last couple of games and a couple of rounds is suddenly coming through to what could be a possible win here.
He's looking for revenge. DreamHack Summer 2017, not 16 like Drake said. But he's looking for the SK revenge, Lauren. Next level reference game.
Jesus.
Console right now going for the Mac 10, of course. You know you're going to be able to get some pistol at least, so good to get that going. And they can play around that position for AKs as well. Full setup for the Ts. Molotovs on everyone above the console. And they could tie us up right now. 14-14 could be the score, but they're still away. Loki once again has been the difference maker. Him and Refresh in this game for me so far. Been playing absolutely perfect.
And I like this anti-eco approach they go for. It's the slower kind of outside control they wrap through on the catwalks. They leave 2 players towards the lobby watching for the push out. It's nice. I think Mousesports are aware of it now as well, but it's one thing to be aware of it and the second to be able to do anything about it. Yep. So again, good stuff from Singularity. As long as they keep it clean, they're in a great position going forward. Their money's already looking great anyway, but still, you want to keep Mousesports, you know, as far down as possible. There is still a player outer as well, which just gave away the game there. So again, good work from Refresh, just kind of scouting his way around a little bit.
See, Refresh is aware that there's something close by. Just spots the head there, goes for the frag. That's actually Rixo getting it. Now, 5 players still alive. I thought Evenstead was going to go down for sure there to Lyle, but he actually survives with 2 HP. Now Oscar and Rob's remaining. Can't do anything. And Rob's now with an impossible task at hand.
Yeah, this is... any sort of recovery mission is great, but you've got to be starting to get excited about this one. And if you're Mousesports as well, you've had 2 games, and they've both been, you know, pretty devastating, to be fair.
Yep.
I'd be getting frustrated. We know that these guys can, well, previously known to be quite emotional. They, you know, we've seen Dennis having, you know, those moments. Chris J is very, very an emotional player. Oscar known for it too. Rops is a very young player actually as well. So this could be interesting to see how well they deal with this. They are a tier 1 team though. You know, as much as you can add this factor into it, Mousesports should be used to be able to be, you know, in these pressure situations. They shouldn't be crumbling under it. But you get frustrated.
They should have the experience to be able to get out of a situation like this. And this is why I'm not, like, of course, I'm hoping for the upset here for Singularity, but I'm not allowing myself to believe in it yet because I know that Mousesports constantly just, even though they're on the knife's edge, they can always bounce back. And that's how we know they can do this. We know they have the potential. So it's 14-14. Round number 29. Bye for both teams. AWP on Chris J. They're missing some smokes and some Molotovs already from the CT side. T side have the perfect loadout right now. They're not playing an AWP on Rixo.
Well, to be fair, Rixo's having a really quiet game,
yep.
So maybe just not feeling it. If you're not feeling that AWP in potential,
it's
if you're
fair, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't mind him just going away from it if it's something you need to do in this. Smokes come in. This could be a different look for Singularity too. This could be a nice little upper piece. Let's see if they go for this. What a surprise that'd be for Mousesports. Haven't seen this one yet. LOL and Oscar will be the first port of call if they actually go for this hit. They get broken and they're going to go ahead early. That's nice. Nice idea, but the theory might be incorrect if the hit just doesn't work out. And Oscar in such a deadly position. Beautifully played in the end. I like the idea from Singularity, but it just didn't come through.
And this is what I was talking about. Mousesports can always reset themselves. And this is the question. This is the mental strength now of Singularity. This is what it all boils down to. Can you, after losing a round like that, bounce back and take it to overtime? This is the most high-pressure situation of Counter-Strike. Being in round number 30, having to tie it up to overtime.
Yep.
And this is where men are made.
Oh, let's separate them and see what we have here. Chris J going to be watching towards outer. Smokes come in. Nothing much shown. It's a lot of pressure towards ramp here from the T side. 3, 4 players. And the young man, the new addition, Rops, could have it all on his shoulders. He might have support coming in. Chris J now with him. And it's about to be go time. Rops gets flash, falls back to ramp. That puts Chris J in the game and he's going to deliver. Look, he goes down. And now Chris J backs away, gives them space, doesn't overcommit. And Rops now in a lovely off angle. This could be perfect. Chris J again finds another. It's Rops who takes the swing. Oh, he doesn't get both, but Oscar is so ready, willing and waiting. And it's just down a console. And they got so close. They could almost taste victory and ripped away. Mousesports finds map 1. It's still a best of 3, bearing in mind, but Mousesports are looking good here.
You gotta be looking at this and then saying, this was the chance of Singularity.
Yes.
This was the only chance that we're gonna get. Hopefully they can bounce back and do another Mirage. We know they play a good Mirage as well.